everybody, welcome back to The Vegan View. This week we have a very special guest. He's a friend of mine. I've known him for, I'm going to say 4 years now.
I think it's more than that.
Yeah,
more
definitely
4 years,
more than
5
that.
years.
You have to count the pandemic
2020.
as 2 years.
Oh, that's right.
Didn't
The
really
pandemic
count.
is 2 years, so 6 years.
Yeah.
It's been a while. And we just met in the vegan community, just doing vegan things, and probably met somewhere having food.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't actually remember how we met. Do you?
I feel like it was when I was working for RBC Vegan, Ridiculous Baking
You're
Company.
right, at the Hollywood Farmers Market.
Yeah.
Yes. What a great memory.
Steel trap memory.
This is my friend, Dustin, and he is the owner and founder of In Vegan Veritas, which is this beautiful, funky, spunky clothing brand. Thank you so much for joining us, Dustin.
Thank you for the great description of my brand.
Funky.
Yeah.
And thanks so much for coming on the show. How long have you been vegan? Do you want to tell us?
Yeah, it's coming up on 10 years.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Round of applause for that.
Thank you.
Yes.
And how did you come to the dark side?
Well, it is kind of a dark story.
Okay.
So
A lot of them are.
yeah, because a lot of it it's like something kind of traumatic happens to us, and we're like, oh. I'll give you the abbreviated version, but I'm a cat person. I've had cats since I was a little kid. Since I was 10 years old, I got my first cat. And in 2011, I moved out here, and in 2012, I was living in this apartment in Hollywood on the 4th floor, super hot in the summertime, no AC except for in my roommate's room, so it was just boiling hot. I had a long-haired cat, took him to the vet for some shots, and they're like, he's got all these knots in his fur because it's been really hot. You should probably give him a haircut. I was like, all right. And so I left him there for a haircut and got a call from the vet an hour later that he went into cardiac arrest from being so scared at the vet, and he died.
Oh no.
Yeah. Sorry to bring it on.
sorry.
Bad note
Wow.
like that.
Oh,
No,
wow.
that's awful.
Yeah, so, I was just so
Shocked.
crushed. I was so upset, I started vomiting. when,
Oh my
when
God,
I found
yeah.
out. I was just so upset. And, during my, grieving and stuff, I've started thinking, gosh, he spent 8 years of his life just having, I really spoiled my cat. So he had a really great life for 8 years, and he spent, 1 hour being so scared that he was scared to death. Then while I was grieving, I started, going through a lot in my head, and I was just so many of these animals, that 1 hour of what Milton knew, that's their entire existence, is that state of fear and not knowing what's going to happen. And the big difference is Milton's going to be okay. He's just going to get a haircut and go home to his cushy life. The other animals, they have a reason to have that. And I was just I can, in no good conscience, ever contribute to this sort of anything that's going to cause an animal this sort of fear. I cannot be a part of it anymore. I can't give my money to it. Nothing. I'm done.
Wow, so you were able to make that connection.
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Wow.
it is.
So I
Yeah.
do it for him.
Oh,
For my Milton.
Milton.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I relate to you so much. My story's similar, where it came from pets that we, animal companions that we have in our life, and that connection that I also made. And it's so crazy how many people just never make that connection.
Yeah.
That I know they love their animals
Yeah.
so much,
Yeah.
and would never want anything like that to happen to them. But then that disconnect is just so real. So
They're
that's
just
so
unable
incredible.
to make that connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so incredible that was your process, and that you were able to come to that from that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was already doing the pescatarian thing for about 4 years up until that point. But that's what really pushed me, just okay, even though, at the time I was like, oh, well, the cows and stuff, it's not a big deal if they're just, we're just getting milk from them. But then I just, I really connected it. And to kind of piggyback on what you said too, I think a lot of people don't realize like that the love that their pets are able to provide them and the love they feel for their pets and all the emotions that their pets are capable of, all the animals that people eat are capable of those same emotions.
Yeah.
It's so true. Yeah, and we're never exposed to them, so we just never see it. But I mean,
Yeah.
one trip to a farm sanctuary and you see like these cows playing with beach balls, and you're like,
Yeah.
that's a dog.
Yeah, it's a grass pony.
Yes, that's a giant dog.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I'll see people on the internet like who travel to different places and like get to be around animals, and they're just posting the animals like, oh, look at this goat, oh, look at this chicken, oh,
Yeah.
look at this. And I'm like, do you not realize you're eating? That's
eating them.
you're admiring
What you eat.
their
Yeah,
lives,
exactly.
but you eat them.
Yeah, and you're posting it on social. Look
Trying
at
to be
this
all
goat.
cool, like,
it's like, but you
oh.
would have goat
for dinner tonight.
It is
Right.
fascinating the way some people are able to just like separate that. It's like they'll look at a cow and they'll think it's the cutest thing. They'll
Right,
take
like,
pictures with it and then
yeah.
they'll go and eat a steak that night. And it's like, how did
Yeah.
It just
it's
like
so
well, it
true.
shows
Yeah.
that like in us, I think like
Yeah.
deep down in us, we do care. We are
Yeah.
empathetic
Yeah.
as humans for the most
Yeah.
part, and there's just like this like society has just completely brainwashed us.
Yeah.
Like, so after that, and you were like, I'm never gonna eat animals again. Was there anything else that kind of like added to that? Like, did you feel like you had to watch a documentary to kind of like seal the deal, or were you just like, nope, that's it? Like,
Yeah, that's like exactly what it was. It's basically that scenario with Milton caused me to like dig deeper into the vegans world and stuff, and so I watched Vegucated.
that was the one that did it for me.
Yeah, that one was really,
Wow.
really heart wrenching.
Yeah.
Man, there's scenes in that like I'll never
forget.
seeing.
Never forget.
And then, so that was kind of like, that one spoke to me more, like to our hearts more. But then I like also watched, obviously culturally we've been brainwashed to think vegan diets are unhealthy. So I watched Forks Over Knives and I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually better for me.
Yeah.
So then I was just like, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got rid of anything I had that was leather. I sold
Yeah.
it and then like used that money to replace it with other stuff,
Wow.
fake leather.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so-
That's great. And you said you were from you moved to Hollywood. Where are you from originally?
Oh, I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska,
Wow.
which is
okay.
like the
Yeah.
steak capital of the universe.
Yeah, Omaha
One of-
steaks, yeah.
Exactly.
Is it so pretty there?
Yeah, I mean, Omaha's a nice place. It really
Yeah.
is. The weather's pretty awful, but like it's a nice place.
Yeah.
And so, how is it going back now that you've been vegan 10 years?
You know what's really fascinating? So, as I mentioned, I was a pescatarian prior, and so I was a pescatarian when I lived in Omaha, and it was hard. That was
Wow.
in 2006 or 8 or something, whatever.
Wow.
And it's easier to go back now as a vegan than it was to be a pescatarian there 14 years
Yeah.
ago. Like that's how much
Yeah.
it's changed and
Change
progressed.
and evolve.
well, it's
that's
good to know
good.
that they've progressed a little bit.
Yeah. It's like
definitely.
any restaurant that's like, we have a few vegan restaurants there now. Like Modern Love is a pretty well known one.
Oh, there's a Modern Live in New York, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same
I've been to
one?
that
Same
one.
one.
It's really
Right.
good.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that restaurant.
Yeah, that's a good one. It
Yeah.
started in Omaha and then she opened one up in New York.
That's
wow.
so cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
But like any of the newer spots that have opened in the last like 5 to 10 years, they at least have vegan options now.
Yeah.
Love that.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, I
My-
love hearing that.
My favorite place to get sushi when I still ate fish has like 15 vegan rolls.
That's
That's
Amazing.
amazing. We love seeing that type
Like,
of
it's definitely my favorite
progressiveness.
place.
Sushi.
It's great.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
great.
Nebraska.
Yeah, and I think it's also so brave for restaurateurs with a vegan vision, whether they're vegan or not, to open a vegan restaurant in a city where there really isn't, that many
Yeah.
options.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you're somewhere with not a lot of vegan stuff, and you're just like working off of like the local produce, and you're not getting maybe the mock meats. I think that's so brave to think there's no vegan restaurant in Omaha. I'm going to be the first one.
Yeah.
So grateful to those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bravo.
You know what's one of my favorite things about that place opening in Omaha? The first year that it was opened, the newspaper named it the best restaurant in Omaha.
Oh,
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Can you believe that?
Wow.
Pretty awesome.
So once you went vegan, then what led you to this?
Oh, to this, what did you call it
Yes.
earlier? Funky.
funky, spunky, fun.
Yeah. I'm also a musician, and so I grew up I've been playing in bands for like 25 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, so
What do you play?
I play bass.
Oh no.
That's what I'm best at.
Love the bass. Love the bass.
Got to.
Got to.
It's the best.
Yes.
Yeah, so like up until moving to LA in 2011, I only knew of the vegan movement in like the punk and like metal community. I had no idea it existed outside of that.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was this like underground subculture of like kind of, against authority and against the man and stuff.
And
so-
that's like a topic, on its own, just like how I feel like the punk and the rock movement is kind of intertwined just because they're so like against the grain. And
Yeah,
like veganism is
exactly.
against the grain, and you
Yeah.
hear of all these like rock stars from like forever ago that are like, yeah, I'm vegetarian, or yeah, they're just
The two kind of went hand in
fight the
hand,
power.
like back in the day.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
hearing that, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I can actually remember I played a festival back in like 2003, and PETA was like next to us or across the thing from us in the merch area, and they were playing like this, slaughterhouse footage, and I was at the time I was like a big fast food person, so I was like mad. I was just like, screw them, like,
Love people's
trying to ruin it for
reaction.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, which,
Love PETA.
but it stuck with me. It's like those are all seeds that get planted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
No, I'm happy that
That's
you
a good
say that
point.
because usually I get really mad at people who react with anger towards
Yeah.
like PETA or towards like just the truth being shown to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's obvious that it's like coming from a place of like you're angry that you're being faced with the truth.
Yes.
Right,
So,
exactly.
It's
but
inciting
even if you
something.
don't, even if you don't realize it in that moment,
Yeah, you're
like,
shooting the messenger.
yeah,
It's like, don't be
yeah,
mad at
exactly.
the person telling you what's happening. Be mad at what's happening.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
worse, that you've been tricked, unfortunately, to be subsidizing it and to be funding it all this time.
But it's so much easier to be mad at the person who's delivering the information than to like look inside yourself and be like,
to
oh, I'm
not
guilty
take
of
not take
something.
accountability.
a lot of
Yeah.
people want to just stay ignorant to things and they just
Yeah.
don't want their peace disrupted.
Ignorance
They
is
like
bliss.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's a
not.
good way to say it. It's like then they realize like, oh, if this upsets me, I might have to change my lifestyle, and I don't want to feel. I can either feel guilty and keep doing what I'm doing, or change what I'm doing, and I don't want to change it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think some people just don't want the information. I mean, Joy says it all the time. She's like, I just know too much.
I know too much.
And 100%. That's,
Yeah.
that's what it is. People
Yeah.
just don't want to know too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
know
Yeah.
too much.
I know too much.
Yeah.
I literally could never. And people will ask me, "You don't ever just miss? You don't want this? I'm like, no,
Because I know.
I
the
know
truth.
too much.
Yeah.
Like,
and also, there is a vegan version of whatever this is.
Exactly.
You can get it.
that is
Get it.
better for me, better for the animals, and better for
Yeah.
the environment.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yep.
good.
Better all around.
We're good. Don't worry about us. So that's so cool.
Yeah.
So tell us more about.
So
how
you have this
yeah.
feud with PETA at
Yeah. So me and PETA, we threw down. Nothing like that.
and then you went vegan. You're like, I'm sorry.
I thought like like I said, I thought it was only existed in the music world. So I was like, I want to make stuff that people would maybe want to wear to concerts.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to do a bunch of like band parodies and stuff, and like Weird Al's one of my favorite people in the world. I've like been a huge fan of it since I was like 6.
Yeah.
And so
Weird Al.
Weird Al.
Oh.
yeah,
It's like a
clearly a
90s.
big fan.
Huge fan. Love their work.
Their work. Well, he's a comedy parody.
Oh, okay.
Makes fun of other songs. So I was
Yeah.
like, making, and mostly food parodies. So I'm like, I can do like food parodies of vegan stuff in music, but but visually.
I
And
love that.
so, first one I did was the Nirvana one, and this
Yeah,
one has been
love that.
my big hit.
Yeah, I remember seeing that and thinking that is so original.
How
I
much
love
do you
that.
like it?
I have that shirt.
Well, here's another one for you.
Wait,
And you get a shirt! And you get a shirt! And you get a shirt!
Wait, did you hook us up with crop tops?
That's right.
Oh my god, we should have been wearing these the whole time.
Sorry, that reveal was perfect.
That was
Thank you.
amazing.
I was waiting.
notice that you had
That's how I do
You
it.
had that the whole time.
Yeah.
I didn't
you are Oprah. This is not. You get a shirt. You get a shirt. Yeah, I was just gonna say that. This looks like an episode of Oprah over LA, and we're just like everyone in the audience gets a shirt,
all of
and that
the
was
audience.
perfect. This is not staged. She's like, no.
You know I'm about to have my belly out.
How cool are these?
cute.
This is so cute.
Yay.
Yeah, let's
Cool.
wear it.
Oh, all right, cool. I wasn't expecting that,
I mean,
but I like the fun reaction. That's all.
This is my style anyway.
Oh my god.
I love it.
Yeah, now you're all part of my army. This is great.
I can't wait to rock this.
You already are.
Yeah,
You
but
have
in
to-
the real world.
Oh, in the real world.
In the real world.
Yeah.
Out.
it's
Great
cool,
conversation starter.
It's just great.
So
this
was the first design.
Yeah, that's
And
what
it's
I
still like going strong to
It's
this
my most
day.
popular one.
It's so
Bananas
good.
instead of X's, right? There's
Yeah.
originally just X's, and then the tongue is a piece of corn.
Yeah, corn cob.
So cute.
So
It's an
cute
apple.
and so original. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
thank you.
I
It's
just
an
realized
apple.
it's an
Yeah.
apple. Oh, I love that.
That's kind of
love
what I
that.
like about it is that it's sort of subtle.
Yeah.
Even though it
Yeah.
says vegan in huge letters.
Yeah.
It's like there's been like the last job I had, I wore this shirt to work all the time, and it's like 8 months after being there, someone's like, I just realized that's not a Nirvana shirt. I'm flying covert under
Yeah,
the
because
Exactly.
they see it and
Yeah.
they know the logo, so they're just like mentally.
Yeah, it's almost better when you realize someone's shirt isn't what you think it is, and you're like, oh wait, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Well, I also think like sometimes, for some people, they want to maybe express that they're vegan and wear it like a billboard on themselves.
Yes.
But they don't want anything that's going to be like too overbearing,
Yeah.
too
Or too
aggressive,
corny.
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
corny.
Like
Yeah.
this is so fly.
Corny.
Like
Yeah, I
This is
know.
cool.
This is
technically
this is
Yeah. And technically, it is corny.
technically it is corny.
So I was wearing. So quick story. I was wearing the other shirt I have. It's I think like one of his like OG ones
Yeah.
probably because I remember getting one from you like early on when you first started, and I wore
Yeah.
it to class one day, and I had like the super rock and roll cinematography professor, and like I wore it one day, and he's like, huh. Cool shirt. So he got it. He liked it.
Yeah.
If you get his approval, that's all you need.
Oh, I know. Just, you wanted the cinematography person's approval. Yeah, definitely. So tell us about the rest of the designs now. So what
Yeah.
other band?
Oh, yeah.
How has this evolved?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so yeah, it's evolved into a bunch of things because initially I just wanted to do like more rock concert-y stuff, and I have done a few of those. I have like a Pink Floyd parody that says plant fueled.
Oh my god, amazing.
And then instead of Dark Side of the Moon, it's the bright side of food.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
You design everything.
Yeah, so I usually, so yes and no. So,
Yeah.
so sometimes I'll design it and then I'm like, I'm not like the best designer, so I
Yeah.
can like get most of the way there, and then I'm like, I gotta find somebody else that can like polish this. Like this
Right,
one I had to have a designer, my cousin actually, do the eyes because I could not do the bananas. The other stuff
Yeah.
I was able to accomplish the rest of it.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
so I
that's
can
pretty
get
good
pretty
though.
far.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, but sometimes I also am like, I want to go to somebody who's gonna be able to design this better than I would. So I
Right.
can give them the idea, like exactly what I want. Like I did one, because I've tried, like another thing, I'm like, ride a motorcycle, and I know like
He's so
motorcycle,
cool.
I'm so cool. So cool. The motorcycle culture, like what's the first thing you think of in fashion with motorcycles?
Like
The
leather.
jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
jacket.
So I wanted to do like kind of an anti-leather motorcycle thing. So I have like a skull with kale as crossbones.
Oh my god.
And it's Kale Satan motorcycles. So
I
like
love
Hail
it.
Satan.
Like
you
a whole
know.
little motorcycle club line or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, that's
Oh,
kinda
I
what
rock
I'm
the
trying to
shirts and the jackets.
for
Yeah.
sure.
That's
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of where it's evolved a little bit, but I also have a Van Halen one. I wanted it to look like an 80s arena rock thing.
Yeah.
And so I did like LA vegan donut tour, so it's like an exploding donut.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's so cool.
And then on the back, they always have like tour dates.
Yeah.
So I put like donut shops on the back instead of tour dates. So then it's like a checklist of
Like vegan donut shops?
places that are vegan or have vegan
Oh, I
donuts.
love that.
Yeah.
Donut friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out. My favorite.
Yeah, sponsor us. What I
So
love about your brand is like it's so good for people who are in the music world and like the motorcycle world, but then it's also good for like the everyday vegan too. Like, and it's like people love band shirts.
Yeah, I mean, like Nirvana and some of these other, and Pink Floyd and like AC/DC and stuff, like their logos have just become a brand of their own.
Yeah.
They're just,
They're
like
iconic, they're
disconnected from the
Yeah.
music in a weird way. It's like you can buy them at Target and
Yeah,
It's,
or
like,
like you
so
walk
crazy.
into like Forever 21 and there's
Urban
like an
Outfitters.
Yeah.
AC/DC shirt, and I'm like,
That's always the joke. Like if you wear a band shirt and you're like, you look like us. They're like, do you even name one AC/DC song?
Hell's Bells. Yes.
I don't know a single song, but I have one of those band t-shirts.
Wait, what?
You're one of those people.
I am. I'm a basic. I am.
Listen,
Yes.
I stick to my Harry Styles and Backstreet Boys. I know where I stand.
I just have Tupac.
I like the design though. See, that's why
Yeah.
that's why this is great because it's like I have the design. It's like
Yeah.
edgy. It's cool.
And no
but
one has to be like,
no one's asking me what songs I know.
Yeah.
So
You're like, what are you
They ask
talking
you what
about?
vegan restaurants you go
yeah,
to.
there you
Yeah.
go. I got a long list for that. Okay.
But
Yeah.
I love this.
I do feel like comedy and humor is also a good icebreaker. So like
Yeah.
I think like a lot of my shirts have like something that's kind of funny about it, or try to be clever. At least I try.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Something
Well, yeah, it
like-
seems like you yourself are like that in real life too.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a conversation. It's a conversation starter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe someone will be like, "Oh, that's a nice shirt. Yeah, I love Nirvana. Oh, it says go vegan. Oh, that's so
Oh,
you're
you're
vegan?"
vegan?
And then
Yeah.
and then suddenly it's like, "Yeah,
Yes,
I own this
baby.
brand." Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, baby.
Yes,
I'm a
baby.
proud
Yeah.
vegan in the world.
Yeah.
So proud.
Man, it's like when I was new to my veganism almost 10 years ago, I used to be so shy.
Yeah.
Like, I would never
Yeah.
tell people I was vegan. Like, now it's like, I don't go, I'm vegan. But when people ask, like, I love to talk about it. And now I'm
Yeah.
like, I stand firm in it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm vegan and I'm
Yeah.
proud. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing you can say that can make me feel small about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Whereas earlier on, like, you
Oh.
could probably, like, tear
Yeah.
me down.
That takes time.
It
Yeah,
takes
that
time.
takes
it does.
years and years of
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
I'm sure you went through that too. Like,
Sure. Yeah, I
as
think
a vegan.
I think a lot of it is also after you've had enough, because most of the times it's going to open up an argument.
Yeah.
And so like over time you have full ammunition to every response that stupid response someone's going to
Yeah.
say to you. We've all heard it too many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like the
Too many.
same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I haven't heard anything recently that's like new, and you're like, I actually haven't thought. No, I've
Yeah.
heard it all.
We've heard it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I met with like a trainer yesterday and she was getting to know me and I was like, yeah, I'm vegan or whatever. And then she was like, oh, wow, I bet it's so great nowadays because like, back in the day it would have been like, what can you eat? And I'm just like, she's like, now there's just a bunch of things. And I'm just like, girl, there's so many fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
Like,
Fruits and
There's
vegetables have been
new.
around for a while.
and there's like 4 types of animals that people eat. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
versus
those part.
thousands of different species.
I'm so
of-
glad pasta
Yeah.
was invented 4 years ago.
Yeah,
I was
like,
eating before. And rice.
Rice,
Oh,
yeah.
beans, legumes,
Oh my God.
green leafy vegetables. There's
Yeah.
so many.
Those are all
Like,
recent
I'm so
discoveries.
glad Beyond Meat came out with legumes. Thank God.
yeah, like, but I understand.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, people
Yeah,
just
'cause
don't.
we didn't grow up vegan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So can you tell what? I've always been curious what the name of your brand means.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is
yeah.
it Latin?
It is.
Okay.
That's all I'll say. No, I'm
no.
just kidding. So there's a saying, in vino veritas, which means
Okay.
in wine there is truth. So it's like it's kind of like when you drink, your tongue gets loosened up and you really start
Yeah.
saying things that mean.
That's a fact. I
Yeah.
can attest to
Yeah,
that.
that's that. All right. Full testimony. So I kind of thought, like when you're vegan, it's kind of what we were saying earlier, is you find all these truths that you didn't really want to know about or
Yep.
didn't know about like the background of what happens to the factory farms and
Yeah.
farm
Yeah.
animals. And it's like kind of like I said, I always for the longest time didn't think that milking cows was a big deal until I went vegan, and I was like, oh, that is horrific. This is
Yeah.
awful how they do it. So
Yeah.
so it's more just like there's so much truth
Wow.
that we discover once
Yeah.
we're vegan, and we live it and we understand it.
I love it.
Yes.
So much.
That's one of the coolest
Yes.
stories
Drop the
ever.
bomb.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. And when did you start it?
Gosh, it would have been 2017, I think, or 2016, 2017. I'd kicked around the idea for like a few years before I actually.
It's usually how
did
it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
it was
like,
kind
do I
of
do it?
just
How do I
like,
do it?
do I
Yeah.
have the time to do this
Yeah.
and whatever? So
And then you did it.
and I did
Trigger.
it. I'm
Thank
still
you for
doing it.
creating
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
And,
you're so sweet.
Dustin is at so many of the festivals too. He's always at Vegan Street Fair.
Yeah.
Sometimes are you at Vegan Exchange?
Yeah, I'm there
Okay.
periodically too.
Okay.
Nice.
Great.
And then you sell
Dustin
online.
is around.
Yeah, I
Okay.
sell online on my website and stuff. So
Wow.
What's your website?
InVeganVeritas.com.
Which we'll link
Yeah.
below, of course, as
below.
The
always.
link is right here, maybe.
Right.
I don't know.
Okay.
Right here.
You know the YouTube
We'll get that in
ways.
post. Have it just like some sparkles,
Yes.
Wow.
sound. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell your editor what to do.
I'm just still stuck on what you said, like on what it means. Like,
Yeah.
it's like an onion, and you just keep pulling it
Yeah.
back. And like
Yeah.
people may think like, oh, vegan, oh, she's this, she's a hippie, or she cares about animals. Oh, but
Yeah.
it's like it's so much deeper than
Yeah.
that. It's so deep.
That's
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah.
It's so freaking deep.
So I love that you talked about veganism being like very prevalent in the punk rock scene, because I feel like that's something that only people in that community really know about.
Yeah.
And I feel like the rest of the world feels like veganism is like a rich like white girl thing. Like
Right.
that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
they, that's what social media kind of like perceives it to be. And do you feel like that's still something that's super strong in the punk rock community?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like punk, I grew up more in metal, but there's so much crossover and so much overlap in like the kind of beliefs and a lot of the lifestyle and stuff like that. But yeah, it's still very, very prevalent. In fact, just a few years ago, I went with, I think it was the Humane League, like leafleting at one of the last Warped tours, and they had special leaflets, little handbook things that were all the musicians on Warped Tour that were vegan, and basically little statements about them.
Oh, I
so
love that.
so it was like a good thing for me because I'm just like, hey kids, I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm a band rock and roll guy.
What
And
are
this
you?
is what all these guys and girls that you're seeing
That you like. And they're
play
No,
tonight.
literally.
Yeah.
Honestly, because regardless, being vegan is just so cool.
Yeah.
It's just so cool. Like,
But we
It is cool.
It's
we
so
talked
cool.
about this on a previous episode where we kind of had like this epiphany that a lot of people that stay ethical vegans for the long haul were like felt like they were outcasts at some point in their life or they were kind of picked on, and that to me is so in line with the like punk rock community, like you said, like going against the grain, like not listening to like the society
protesting.
norms.
Protesting.
Yeah.
It's like that comfort
I
in
love
that
that.
uncomfortability is so important in like maintaining this. You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true.
Stand
Yeah.
stand for
your-
what you believe
in your right,
in.
and your
Yeah.
values.
Yeah, that's a lot of like kind of punk rock attitudes.
Yeah.
Standing up for what you believe in.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
also, side note, I feel like Warped Tour has been saying that like X year is gonna be their last, and they always like come back with another one.
I don't think I feel like
Are
they
they
haven't
actually
done.
gone now?
I think they disappeared for a couple of years and then did like one Warped Tour like show, like one
Yeah.
festival, but not a whole tour of it, and that's been it, as far as I can recall. But
Okay.
the internet
We'll see.
proved me wrong.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm not saying that as
Just
a fact.
popping up in smaller cities now, and they're not telling anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping it even more punk rock.
Yeah, exactly.
More, yeah,
Brand.
underground, yeah.
Are you still in a band? Are you still playing music? Okay.
Yeah,
Are
I'm
you in
doing
one
it,
band?
doing it quite a bit. I'm in a few. The one that I'm like kind of working on. Well, there's two I'm working on a lot right now. One that's kind of my like solo project called The Man from Alphabet, which is named after a failed Sesame Street character. One that the kids didn't like in the focus group.
Oh.
But I released a music video for that last year on my birthday. I covered. Any of you guys familiar with a movie called Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
No.
Can't
I
say
heard
I
about
am.
I feel like
Have
I've
to
heard
add
that.
that to my list
Yeah.
of movies to watch.
Well,
Killer
it's a really like I have like a weird love for it, but it's a really bad like 80s horror movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And the theme song is done by a like legendary punk band called the Dickies from LA.
Okay.
So I did a cover, and then I wrote like a story that's sort of in line with the movie, with the band involved and stuff, and
Yeah.
made a music video, and it's been going really good on YouTube.
I gotta check that out. I didn't even know you dropped that.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I love that.
And then I play in a metal band that I've been in since, we started in 2001.
Oh wow.
wow.
Yeah, so it's a long distance relationship.
Okay, I was gonna say, did everyone move from Nebraska?
We're in 3 different time zones now.
Wow.
We're,
Okay. But still making it work.
still making it work.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we've got a song that's done. We're finishing up a music video that's already shot, so we're editing that, doing album artwork. And
What's
that's
it
Wow.
called? The
That's-
band?
that band's called Pariah.
Ooh, I like that name.
Thank you.
Pariah.
Thank you. Yeah, and then kind of other stuff I kind of do randomly. I'm doing these things I'm doing my second one this Tuesday. These things called Ultimate Jam Night at the Whiskey A Go Go.
Oh,
yeah.
They bring in like 50 to 60 musicians,
Yeah.
and then we don't rehearse. Most of the people, I don't even meet them until like we're going on stage.
Oh, it's
Wow.
amazing.
So it's like
I've
cool.
never been to the Whiskey Go Go, and
I
I'm
have.
from here.
It's a historic
I
land.
know.
Yeah, I feel like I've even been there.
Yeah.
I've been
That
there
sounds like
once.
so fun because like you get your creative juices just like it
Yeah.
seems like you're just really on point with getting your
Yeah.
creativity out there.
Trying to.
You know?
Trying to.
That's
Yeah.
important. Like whatever you're creative with, like just keep
Yeah.
just doing it, figuring it out. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know?
creativity like just gives us so much fulfillment. Even
Yeah.
if it's not financially rewarding. It just
Yeah.
like feels good
Yeah.
to make stuff.
I do want to ask you one more thing.
Absolutely.
Do you have any tips for someone who's thinking about going vegan and they either don't know where to start or they're having trouble with it? Any like tips and tricks that have helped you when you like just along the years and when you started?
Sure. I would say when I started, what I did was just find all the foods I like and find the vegan or vegetarian version of them. And then I just like slowly would kind of keep replacing things. So it was like, obviously the first thing was like, well, I'm not drinking milk anymore. So at the time, when I was vegetarian, I started drinking soy milk, but now there's a million options. Just about anything you can find a milk of. So yeah, I think just replacing things with what you like first, and then like always continue to learn, because you can always get in better habits. You can always improve things. And, eat healthier if you want to. If you don't, that's your thing. You know? I'd say like just as long as you're doing your best. Just go with it, and it's okay if you mess up a little bit.
We always talk about that here.
We're
Give
big
yourself some grace.
advocates.
Slow
for
and
that.
steady wins the race. It's
Yeah.
not about being perfect right off the bat, and just because you mess up doesn't mean you're not vegan anymore.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
Intention.
No holier than thou sort of mentality coming
Absolutely
from us.
not.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
I love
Thank
that.
you so much for joining
Yeah,
us.
thanks for having me. This
So
was
great
so
to
much
have
fun.
you.
Thank you for the shirt.
I know.
I know.
I can't get over how he whipped them out.
I know.
I know.
That was perfect.
And none of us even noticed. I'm just
Right.
saying.
No.
I'm
You're
sitting
just
right next to
there.
like
I'm a
it's so
sly one.
discreet.
Yeah, I know.
You gotta watch out for him.
Yeah.
He's doing big things. He's gonna pop it up on you.
We're going to link everything down below where you can
Yeah.
find Dustin, his clothing brand, his Instagram, and all that, so you could stalk him like we do.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure you guys support, get some shirts.
Yes.
He just launched these cool tie-dye shirts. Like, I'm
Look
in
at
love
this.
with them.
They're
You have crop tops in
They're
this?
so cool.
Not yet.
Okay.
All right, we need
crop
some
tops
crop
on the
tops.
way.
I need to
Working
get
on
one.
it.
Yeah, but congratulations with
Thank you.
everything.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Bye.
Don't forget to like, subscribe. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Answer the Facebook question.